Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Nordami Pitisha Azri and my ID number is 2402199. I will be explaining about the financial ratio analysis for the company Aurora Prime Berhad from the year 2022 to the year 2024. Let's take a look at it together, shall we? Let's take a look at the first one, which is the current ratio. The current ratio tells us how many times our easy money can cover our current debt. In 2022, it was a good 2.33 times. This meant we had more than double the money we needed. In 2024, it dropped badly to 1.26 times. Now for the second one is quick ratio. The quick ratio is even more serious because it ignores inventory, or in an easier way to say is the stuff we haven't sold. It was high in 2022 and 2023, but in 2024, it fell to 0.77 times. Next is inventory turnover ratio. The inventory turnover ratio shows we are selling our inventory a little bit faster than before, which is great. We are moving the products. However, look at our day sales outstanding. This is how long it takes customer to pay us. It went up from 131 days in 2022 to 150 days in 2024. We are waiting longer and longer for our money. This is bad because it ties up our cash. Now for the total asset turnover, it shows sales haven't really improved compared to all our assets. It was 0.5 times in 2022 and dropped to 0.47 in 2024. We are not getting enough sales on everything we own. Now, let's look at debt and profit. Our debt ratio has gone up from 52% in 2022 to 65% in 2024. This means the company is relying much more on borrowed money, making it riskier. The time interest earn ratio shows how easily we can pay the interest on our debt. It crashed from 5 times in 2022 to only 2.4 times in 2024. It is now much harder for us to cover our interest payment. Next is the net profit margin. The profit we keep from every sale fell from 7.2% to just 3.2%, less than half of what it was. Our return on asset and return on equity also dropped a lot. Return on asset went from 3.6% down to 1.5%, while return on equity fell from over 11% to only 6.35%.
First, liquidity. The company's liquidity has weakened. At 2024, short-term debts increased sharply, causing both the current and quick ratios to fall. This means the company may face trouble paying short-term obligations without extra funding. Next, asset management. Efficiency, mix, inventory turnover improved in 2023 but slowed again in 2024. Customers are also taking longer to pay, which affect cash flow. The total asset turnover dropped, showing weaker use of assets to generate revenue. For debt management, debt level rose each year. The debt ratio increased while the time interest earned ratio fell, meaning the company are relying more on loan and struggling to cover interest costs. For debt management, debt level rose each year. The debt ratio increased while the time interest earned ratio fell, meaning the company are relying more on loan and struggling to cover interest costs. Lastly, profitability. Profit has been declining. Net profit margin, ROA, and ROE all went down, showing lower return and less value for shareholders. In conclusion, Aurora Prime's overall performance is weakening. The company needs to improve efficiency, manage debt carefully, and boost cash flow to restore financial stability.
Now, the first one is implement a project profitability tracking system. Aurora Prime Berhad should introduce a project profitability tracking system to monitor a real-time project, costs against the budget. This is important because in project-based business, uncontrolled expenses can lead to reduced profit, margin, or losses. With increasing cost pressure, maintaining profitability at the project level is essential for financial sustainability. To implement this, the company can use project management software integrated with budgeting tools, allowing teams to track hours, resource usage, and expenses as a project progress. Budget should also set for each project, and alerts can notify managers of any overspending. Post-project review can help identify which type of work are most profitable. The second one is launch a receivable collection campaign. To strengthen cash flow, our Prime should implement a receivable collection campaign focused on reducing day sales outstanding, also known as DSO, by at least 20%. Delay payment from client impact liquidity and may force the company to rely on external financing, increasing financial costs and risks. Implementation includes automating invoicing and reminders, offering early payment initiative, and applying stricter credit terms such as deposit or milestone billing for new clients. Clients with slow payment records should be close monitored, and dedicated staff should be trained to follow up effectively. The initiative will result in quicker cash inflow, reduce reliance on short-term borrowing, and improve liquidity ratios. A stronger cash position allows the company to reinvest in growth and meets obligation more comfortably. Then the last one, develop a scalable SaaS offering. Aurora Prime should transition part of its business model to recurring revenue by developing a software as a service, also known as SaaS product. This is beneficial because project-based revenue is irregular, while SaaS provide predictable income and higher long-term margins. The company can identify reusable features from past projects and turn them into a cloud-based product with higher pricing. This would involve hosting the solution on cloud platform, building up onboarding system, and marketing the product to both existing and new clients. By doing this, Aurora Prime can generate steady, recurring income, reduce dependency on new project wins, and improve its business valuation. SaaS offering also creates scalability and long-term financial stability.
Next, I'll be comparing Aurora Prime Berhad's 2024 financial performance with the industry average using 5 key ratios: the current ratio, quick ratio, total asset turnover, average collection period, and debt ratio. Let's start with liquidity, which you can see in the first bar chart. Aurora Prime's current ratio is 1.70 times, which is well below the industry average of 2.2 times. This means that for every ringgit of short-term liability, the company only has 1 ringgit and 17 cents of current assets to cover it, compared to 2 ringgit and 20 cents for competitors. This shows Aurora Prime's liquidity position is quite tight, and it may struggle to meet short-term obligations without extra financing. Next, the quick ratio, also shown in the bar chart, is 0.77 times versus the industry's 1.4 times. This indicates that even after excluding inventory, Aurora Prime doesn't have enough liquid assets like cash and receivables to pay off immediate debts. In other words, the company relies heavily on selling inventory to stay liquid, which can be risky if sales slow down. Moving on to efficiency, Aurora Prime's total asset turnover stands at 47.0%, while the industry average is 56.7%. This shows the company is generating less revenue from its assets than its competitors. In other words, Aurora Prime's assets are working as hard as they could be. Looking at the table, we can observe the average collection period for Aurora Prime is 150 days, which is considerably longer than the industry average of 105 days. This extended period indicates slow receivable collection, leading to weaker cash flow and a higher reliance on short-term borrowing to finance operations. Lastly, the debt ratio is 0.65 compared to the industry's 0.75. This suggests Aurora Prime is less dependent on borrowed funds. While that reduces financial risk, it could also mean the company isn't using debt efficiently to extend operations like other players in the industry. In summary, the bar charts and tables show that Aurora Prime tracks the industry in liquidity, efficiency, and collection management. However, its lower debt ratio indicates a more cautious and stable financial structure. To improve, the company should enhance cash flow, speed up collections, and use assets more efficiently to boost overall performance.
So the next question is, show the impact on net profit margin assuming net income in 2023 increases by 30% while revenue remains the same. So the formula is new profit margin NPM equal to net income divide revenue times with 100%. So the NPM is equal to 191.3k divided with 2700 times with 100%. The answer is 7.09%, which is the new net income, which is increases by 30%, is 191.3k times with 1.3 equal to RM 248.7k, while the new profit margin is 284.7k divided with 2700k times with 100%. It's equal to 9.21%. So the old NPM was 194.3 divide to 2700 times with 100, which is equal to 7.09%, while the new NPM is 248.7 divide with 2700 times with 100% and equal to 9.21%. This shows that the company's profitability will improve by about 2.12 percentage points. The rise in net income without an increase in revenue indicates better cost management or efficiency in operations. As a result, Aurora Prime Berhad will be in a stronger financial position, demonstrating improved performance compared to the previous year.